Hey YouTube gun people, I want to talk to you a little bit about some replacement parts for this old girl, Smith & Wesson 1911. Gun is safe. It's a beauty. I shoot the shit out of this thing. To make it a little bit better shooter, you know, I've been going on this long journey for the Ultimate Light 1911, and I finally realized that any 1911 could be the ultimate 1911. You don't have to spend a lot of money. So I want to upgrade some parts here. First thing I want to do is put a mag well on here to facilitate reloads, and I tend to like an arched mainspring housing a little bit better than a flat one, so I'm going to change that as well. And a couple of parts. So first and we'll do that on camera. The first is the mag well. And I got all these parts from Brownells. They're my go-to place for gun parts. Smith & Alexander makes a fantastic mainspring housing and extended magazine well for the 1911 pistol. And here it is. If you're interested in the part number and all that stuff, this is for government size 1911s. Yeah, let's try to get that to focus in here. Government 1911s, this is what you want right here. Alright. So there she is. That's a simple replacement. We'll replace that, no problem. The other thing I bought is these Wilson Combat Shok-buffs. We'll put one of these on. We'll see how that works for us. I don't know if it's going to it's supposed to protect the gun. I'm highly skeptical. But anyway. The other thing is just some recoil springs. These are just Wolf recoil springs for the Smith & Wesson. They are 16-pound springs. That's the spec spring for this gun, and that works well with the kinds of loads that I use. So, without further ado, let's go through here and take this baby apart and change that mainspring housing. So zoom out, maybe you can see a little bit better. That's as zoomed out as it's going to be. So I'm just going to take this gun down. You know how to do this. So let's just do it nice and easy. No fuss, no mess. This gun is cleaned. I already mentioned it was safety check, so I'm just going to break it down so we can service the parts on it. Okay. Put the slide aside. We're only going to be bothering with this part here, so you can see a little bit better. You can hear the fire alarm going off upstairs. My wife's cooking. Alright, now first of all I want to show you something on the springs. This is a spec spring. This is a new spring. Now I got a lot of rounds through this gun already. So I'm going to change this guy out. And let's just look at the difference in the length. Just bear with me for a second while I get my super tactical knife out, because of course it's impossible to open a plastic bag without one, as you all know. Yeah. So this is a Wolf Type B recoil spring. I hope you can see that. 16 pounds. Yep, it's 16 pounds, or at least it says so on the invoice. Does not say, it's not marked on the... Yeah, it is. Now just look at the difference in the springs. It's about an inch different. This one, after, you know, many rounds, it's got to be it's over 5,000 now. Shit, easy. Close to 6. Really compressed. So we're going to change that, keep the gun functioning, and that's just a drop-in part. We'll just drop this baby in there. No fuss, no mess. We'll get to that in a second. Keep the old one in case there's an issue. You'll have it on hand. Alright, let's get this mainspring housing out. All you need to do is go ahead, get something like a roll of tape. Some people will use a 1911 block. There's a block made that'll fit a 1911, so you can do this kind of stuff on it, press pins. What you need to do is get your hammer to move forward. Don't fire it. Just hold it and let it go forward like so to take the tension off the mainspring. Then we're just going to get a punch, and there shouldn't be much else left to this. The other thing you could do is if you take a rubber band, you hold your grip safety down. It'll just kind of keep your leaf spring from moving around on you, so you can do that, right? And then here we go. We're just going to push this pin out like so, and it just should push out. Shouldn't be a big problem. And we're going to first of all just make sure that this pin hole is the same. Yes, it is. And here's our mainspring. It's as easy as that. It doesn't really get any simpler. Now I got to take the mainspring out of here and the spring cup out of this one and put it into this one. Okay. But before I even do that, let's just do a dry fit to see how this is going to go. To see if we need to do any extra home gunsmithing. And it looks like it fits like a friggin' charm. No muss, no fuss. Yeah? Happy, happy. Pull it out. Perfect fit. Alright, how are we going to get this spring out? It's simple. But I got to move the camera and I'll show you, because we're going to use a vise to do this. So I'm going to reset the camera. I'll be right back. Alright, so what I have here is a punch and a vise. You got to use something to protect the punch if it's got plastic handles on it, if you're following me, right? And this is just going to be a point, because what you need to do is you need to depress the spring cup here. I hope you can see this. You need to depress that spring cup so you can take out this small pin right here. Yeah, and then the whole thing comes out. So the easiest way to do this, and this pin is built in a way where you can just push it out from the back side, the side that your hand fits in, or goes up against. So all you do is just push it in. Don't lose that pin. Just relieve the pressure on it, and that pin should just come right out. And there it is. Fell on the floor, of course. We'll get that in a second. Okay, we got it out. Now, when you take out the spring, keep your old mainspring housing. But when you get the spring out, there'll be the spring. There'll be a cup here. That's what holds your the strut on your hammer, the hammer strut. I got the camera at a really severely bizarre angle here. It's hard for me to see if I'm on the camera or not. Okay, hammer strut goes in the cup, and this just maintains it in position inside the mainspring housing, this bottom piece here. Okay, there's really no servicing needed. Alright, so all I do is now, and here's my pin, right? So you can see those bits. Now all I do is get my new mainspring housing and just do the procedure in reverse. Okay, I'm essentially going to... Now I know you expect nothing less than outstanding camera work, and I try to deliver for you every single time. This just goes back in the way it came out of the other one, and when you put it back, turn it upside down, because your pin has a flat head on one side that goes on the inside. So if you do it this way, and you just push that mother in, and that's it. Yeah, it's as easy as that. It really doesn't get any simpler than that. Okay, I got my mainspring housing. Okay, I got the spring cup. The whole assembly is in there now. And all I'm going to do is replace it on my gun. I wouldn't recommend any lube on this. This looks pretty clean. So all you're going to do is press this into the firearm. Make sure it lines up. Yeah, pretty simple. And then you can, with a punch, just grab the strut and make sure it goes into the spring cup, like so. Push it in there. Now you're going to just, with that spring forward, just the rubber mallet. Okay, it's a little bit tight fit, of course, that's what you want. Once you get it started and it's almost all the way through to the other side, you can just now take your punch and just tap it through. So it's even on both sides. So that's done. Let's get a look at her. Nice mainspring housing. It's a nice fit, right? There's negligible gap for a drop-in part. That's good. We'll try it with a magazine once we get the gun back together. That looks pretty good. The arched housing really feels nice. Don't pull your trigger when you don't have a slide on a 1911. Bad things happen. Let's put a Shok-buff in here. These are what these things are. Here, you can see. Shok-buff Wilson Combat. Let's see, it's a package of 6, absorbs up to 1,000 rounds of repeated firings. We'll see about that. Otherwise they fall apart and turn to shit, I'm sure. You get your awesome tactical knife. You're probably going to have to spend at least $300 to accomplish this task of cutting that Shok-buff free from the other Shok-buffs. If you don't have a $300 knife, you're shit out of luck, my friend. And it just goes on. There's only one way it can go on. And you just match it up to the guide rod. Right? Simple. Simple. Okay? And then what we're going to do simply is change out our mainspring. And that will come in a minute. So let's just reassemble the firearm. Again, this is a Series 80, so don't degrade. This is actually a Schwartz type safety, so don't depress the grip safety, because it'll block it and you'll mark your gun. Okay. So we got a new recoil spring right here. Can only go in one way. Right, it doesn't fit that way, so that makes it easy for us gun people. And yep, it's going to work just fine. Get our bushing in place, the right orientation. I'm not even sure you can see what I'm doing, but you get the idea. Okay, we just push it down like a boss. Goes right in there. Capture it. That's that. Yeah. Now let's get a magazine and see what the loading looks like. One thing, if you have a magazine with a flat base like this one, it's not going to work so well for you. You're not going to be able to seat it all the way. It'd be hard because it's going to be fitting completely flush. Okay, they do fit. They will keep the slide back when they're empty, so they'll go into slide lock for you. But it's not ideal. So what you want is a magazine with a base plate on it. Like this happens to be the Smith & Wesson magazine that came with the pistol. And you can see that it's a nice fit here. So your finger doesn't have to go beyond the magazine well, the extended magazine well. Are you getting me? Yeah? So let's see how they function. That's pretty nice. You can drop it. Try a Chip McCormick. I'm not a big fan. Same deal. Seems to be real good. Locks back just fine. Try a Metgar. Same kind of base plate. Let's see. Locks back. Fits in there real nice. And it definitely I'll zoom out here and I'll show you what I mean. This seems to really do very well, like these extended magazine wells. It's a bigger hole, so you can slam it in there easier. I'm sure I'm going to get a Google Plus invite pretty soon from Stripey McCatpuss now that I talked about holes and slamming it in there. But yeah, there you go. That new Recoil Spring is definitely stronger, or more pounds on it than the worn out one, as you'd expect. But it'll get compressed real quick, and it's good to maintain the springs and to change them out fairly often. We'll see about the Shok-buffs. We'll go shooting. We'll keep some of these in a range bag. We'll keep some of these in a just here on the workbench. And I hope this was a useful video. Thanks for watching.